And now, it's my pleasure to introduce our next speaker. Please welcome IAC Supply Solutions President and your South Central Regional Vice President, Darrell Smith.
We shall be free. We shall be free.
Good morning. Thank you, Larry. In January of 2010, I had the privilege of becoming the president of IAC Supply Solutions in Memphis, Tennessee. I came to this position after spending over 20 years working for a leading industrial automation controls manufacturer headquartered in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Some of you may be able to figure out what company that may be. I thought I knew a lot about electrical distribution. I'm not sure, but I think it took me one day, maybe two, to realize that I didn't really know anything about electrical distribution. What I did know was a very small part of the business and the industry. There were many, many moving parts that I had no clue even existed. Tom mentioned mistakes earlier, where early on I made more than my share of mistakes. The most repeated words I used and heard were unintended consequences. Thankfully, I'm not arrogant enough to think I had all the answers and could fix everything by myself. We have very talented and experienced people in our company that knew a lot more than I did. We also had the tools and the resources from NAED. I would like to briefly talk about three of them: the importance of networking, the importance of training, and the growing importance of value-added services. As you know, networking goes hand in hand with leading a successful company. It's a critical component to our personal growth and professional development. During my first South Central Conference, I saw firsthand the real leaders in the industry and how they and their companies participated in these conferences. I sought those leaders out, and within my first 6 months, I visited 3 different distributor locations and picked their brains about what made their companies successful. Keep in mind, the leaders and the companies I visited were best in class, and they were very helpful helping me learn the industry. I also spent some quality time with Paul McCool, CEO of Revere Electric, who at the time was the South Central VP. Unaware, he was actually recruiting me in his kind and subtle way to become active in NAED. In short order, I was getting calls to join the South Central Council and numerous other opportunities. So you can either thank or blame Paul for me being here today. Obviously, I did agree to participate, and it has been a great experience. It also opened my eyes to the real value the NAED membership can provide if you truly participate. Great leaders develop their team members, which means investing in their training. Training can be expensive and time-consuming, and it doesn't always have an immediate impact on your bottom line. As you know, NAED recommends a minimum of 40 hours of training per employee. Some of you may be worried about investing that heavily in your team, that you'll get them all trained up and they'll leave for a competitor. The bigger worry I have is that you don't train your employees and they stay. Here are some quick facts about employees that receive quality training. Number 1, they're less likely to quit. I don't know about you, but that's pretty important to me today. Trained employees are more confident and enjoy their work. They understand they're appreciated and valued. Number 2, they have better morale. Most employees want to do a great job. They take pride in knowing they're doing the right things the right way. And number 3, they reduce costs and increase customers. That's a pretty powerful combination. Trained employees offer top-notch support to our customers. They can answer questions in a timely manner and are more productive. At our company, competency has become a top priority because we feel it's an important element to our value proposition. Historically, we focus our efforts on product training. While still important, We also wanted to expand our curriculum to include sales, customer service, and other professional skill sets. We contacted NAED and worked closely with Christina McBain and her team regarding what our goals were. Within a matter of days, we had an IAC University branded portal consisting of a preloaded VIP core curriculum. We then piloted that program with a cross-section of our employees to get feedback on ease of use and overall effectiveness. Based on that feedback, we are now tweaking our university as we build out our competency roadmap. While I believe most of us feel good about our industry and the potential to grow, we do have some significant headwinds to overcome. Some are related perhaps to e-commerce and the different buying behaviors of our customers. Others are related perhaps to some manufacturers believing they don't need the channel. The truth is, in some cases, they're right. Regardless of what the particular headwind is, it's extremely important that we know and can explain what our value proposition is. Defining, selling, and delivering value-added services is important, I believe, to our longevity. We need to do this and do it well. If not, many of the companies in this room today will not be here in the years to come. The South Central Region Council has been working on a value-added services project which identifies services distributors can provide their customers. It also tracks and monitors the resources needed to provide these services, as well as quantifying the true costs. The good news is all that work is done. Now we are finalizing the best ways to educate our employees, our customers, and our suppliers. A white paper is nearing completion, as well as other tools that will be helpful to the NAED membership. In closing, I would like to share a quick story that I believe is a great lesson in leadership. One of my good friends is retired Colonel William Bradshaw. Bill graduated from the United States Military Academy at West Point. One of his assignments in the Army included being the military aide for Vice President Gore during President Clinton's first term in office. He also served as part of the Presidential Protective Detail during the Reagan administration, and he shared the following story with me. Before Christmas, during President Reagan's first full year in office, President Reagan, along with the First Lady, were discussing their upcoming travel plans with the special agent in charge regarding when they planned to fly out to California to spend the holidays. Mrs. Reagan quickly stated that they would leave Washington on the 23rd. The President turned, looked at Nancy, and said, "Nancy, if we leave on the 23rd, December the 23rd, we would be taking over 100 people away from their families on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day." The President then informed the special agent that they would travel out to California late afternoon of Christmas Day. The Reagans carried on this tradition during their 8 years in the White House. Again, a great lesson in leadership. It wasn't just about him or her. He was looking out for his team. In my book, President Reagan was the right president for the right time. He was a great communicator and inspired all of us to expect a better tomorrow. He understood growth, and he had a sharp eye for danger and recognized a leader's duty to prepare and protect. These are traits of a great leader, traits I try to emulate as I lead my team. Speaking of teams, I would like now to take a moment to acknowledge the team currently serving on your South Central Council. These folks give generously of their time to help drive the industry forward. Please hold all applause until the end. Richard Antonaris, Irby. Bruce Brockdenborough, Hannon Supply Company. Sean Brooks, Maurice Electrical Supply Division of USESI. David Edward DeSteiger, Raymond DeSteiger, Inc. Nancy Gerticke, Mayor Electric Supply. Carlos Gomez, Electric Supply, Inc. Rocky Kuchenmeister, KE Electric Supply. Don Masters, Shealy Electrical Wholesalers, a division of Border States. Tim McClyman, Van Meter. Robert Mirbaha, Metro Electric, Metro Lighting Supply. Chris Mitchell, Mayor Electric Supply. Walt Morrison, Interstate Electrical Supply. And Langdon Scott, K&M Electric Supply. It's my pleasure to announce Walt Morrison as the incoming South Central Region Vice President. I'm also extremely pleased to announce Rocky Kuchenmeister as our new Vice President-elect. We sincerely appreciate their willingness to step up and serve. Let's give them all a round of applause. And thank you for attending this conference. It's great hosting here in Tampa. Next year, this conference will be held in beautiful, sunny San Diego, California, February the 26th through the 28th, and we look forward to seeing all of you then.